Alright guys, welcome once again to our humble page. Yes, today we are here to at least continue with our analysis. And now you know the meaning of order blocks, you know supply and demand zones, you know how to map or analyze multi-time frames. Analysis from the higher time frames to the lowest time frames. Now you know it and you understand it perfectly because you've gone through all the videos I've shared so far and you've proven yourself to be a trader. Very good. So what we are going to do now is we are going to combine all. We are going to combine everything. You understand? We are going to combine everything and we are going to this video will focus on analyzing two pairs. We will consider analyzing Euro USD and then Pound USD. So we have this Euro USD here, Euro USD here, and then Pound USD. So when I'm done, then I'll talk about something that we call correlation. Correlation. You don't have to trade only one pair. The relationship between at least two or more pairs, that is the correlation. Sometimes they will be telling you the same thing and you will need confirmation from the other just to make sure you are in the right position or your at least your plan is okay. All right, so without wasting my time, I just want to use the one we did for the Pound USD. If not watch that video, you can just go through my videos. We have one that we analyze for Pound USD, and we have this information. So the market has opened. We have a fresh new day, and today is Monday 16th. Yes, so it means something can change in the market and you have to look at the market from a different angle. And I've already explained that once from the higher time frame perspective, you're able to at least map out these areas. Once you map out these areas, the last parts are the key points. That is where you need, because that is where price is currently in. You know, this last high that broke this low to this point, which means in the monthly swing we had what this downflow, right? We had price coming down. Okay, that is from the monthly swing perspective. So once we have this, then we limit ourselves within this range. You get it? Okay. So within this range, we realized that before, when price was coming down, it was making higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. And it came up to this point. Then from this point, instead of it making higher high, higher lows, it just went up and broke this part, the last high that was made. So it broke that part, giving us a change of character around that session. And from there, we saw that whenever there is a change of character or a BOS, price will come back. There will be a pullback. Then we'll get the continuation of that particular trend. So now, instead of higher highs, higher lows, we are making lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, meaning price was in an uptrend from this side. So from here to price came here and went all the way up. You get it? All right. So within this smaller time frame, we are getting higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower highs. We are having an uptrend within this time frame. Okay, so which means from from the monthly perspective, we are considering this part and this part, right? Between this zone. Let me bring this one here and this one here. And I want to delete the swing points because you already know that price is moving like this, just targeting this high. And because we are in a downtrend from the higher time frame perspective, we are not expecting this point to break at least. Okay, so the next thing is what you can do once price is going up. Mostly sometimes it is targeting something. So let's just delete this one. I'll just click on it and delete so that our chart will be clean, a bit clean, something like this. Okay, so from this chart we are combining everything that we've learned so far. So from this chart you can see that if around this place somebody plays a trade that the market will go down, you understand? Maybe when price was coming, let's look at this. So price came, it made a low here. So right from this side, price moved to this point, then it made a low, then it went to this point, then it made a low. We are expecting price not to, and price came to this point. So the same position, like the same price line, nothing happened, which means here and here are of the same level, equal highs. We call it equal highs. Yes, they are of the same level. Nothing has changed because this place, this particular point, it couldn't break this point. So here it's not of that importance. Meaning this is the only part that is very important to us, and we are not expecting price to break it because this point broke this high to this particular side, right? Okay, so price came from this point. We saw that it was making some series of move until it came down to this part, breaking this side, right? Something like this. Then it came all the way here before going down. You get it? All right, so maybe somebody was following this chart, and then around this place, once there was a mini uptrend, and the person saw that this uptrend around here, it has changed character. So at least the person was expecting price to retrace. Once here is broken, this is it. Let me show you. So once the last low here, and this one, you can't draw it like this. It will be like this, just to make sure at least you know that that point wasn't any point. You understand? So this was coming. We're not expecting price to go below this. So around this place, we had that change of character. So once price broke through this point, at least we were expecting that pullback. As I said, whenever there is a BOS or a change of character, there will be that pullback. You mark this area, you mark the area of interest because you have this point. I already explained the meaning of supply zones and other blocks. So here will be a supply zone. Or if you zoom down, you see that that place will be another block. And another place is here. You can see that we have a gap between from this week to the last week. So we have a gap here, this particular candle, the last green candle and the last red candle before this strong movement. So there is that gap. You understand? So whenever there is a change of character, we are expecting price to at least respect the places that were not filled. You understand? If you want to also identify some of these tracks, you can see that between here and this week, like this, let me draw this one. We had an FVG, fair value gap. Between this one and this one, price, there wasn't any price fill in that area. It was only sell direction. and it came with a strong candle. So once we have a fair value gap here, we can also identify another block. We have already explained another block, always the last candle that was formed before the last strong candle. So this one too, we have another block. And for this particular analysis, you can consider adding this wick to this other block, to the last candle like this. So this other block is also acting as a demand zone, a supply zone. You understand? So these places are the point that you will always be looking at when price is coming. You are expecting price to come to those zones. So this place, when price came, you see, and it came back to the FVG, fill the fair value gap, and touch the other block or the supply zone. They touch it, and it's because it was in a downtrend, it had the potential to push price down. All right, so price came all the way here, all the way down to this point, and we saw that there has been a change of character within this level or within this range, this weak low and this strong high. Within this, we have that change of character with price like pulling back because there has been a BOS from the higher time frame. We had a BOS here, break of structure around this point. You get it? And once we have it, that is why I'm saying once we had a break of structure around this point, there will be a pullback, and that pullback is what we are seeing as an uptrend. Okay, which means once price is pulling back between this range, price can go as much as possible to the last high. And what you are supposed to do is to at least get the areas, map out your areas of interest. You just have to map out those areas of interest. Yes, and we have already done that. So here, this place, because price did a job, it came to that point, filled it and came down. We say that place is mitigated. Like price has touched it, price has filled it. So it's possible when price gets to that point, though it respected it and is behaving like from that point it wants to come down. You see, from just around this zone, let's send it there. Something like this. The other block is there, and the FVG, the fair value gap through is there. But right now we can just clean the other block if we want to, because it's of no, the importance of it is very minimal around this zone. So around this particular other block, we were expecting price at least to come back to it, because that particular other block had the potential to push price all the way down, breaking this particular low, breaking this point. You get it? So it was able to break this point, meaning this other block is very strong. And once you see it in that manner, it means it can also, it has the potential to do the same thing again. You just have to respect it. All right. But the respect is actually not from the fact that once price gets to this point, you just enter. No, not like that. You have to wait for confirmation. Okay. So with this particular pullback, at least the highest that we're expecting is if price can get to this point. This point, it has the greatest potential to bounce price down. Here to this fair value gap, people's liquidities are also resting. People's money are also resting. You get it? So it also has the potential to bring price down. All right. And as I mentioned, if somebody places a trade here, they are having their stop losses at least above this. All these places, they are having their stop losses, which means there are a lot of cash. There are a lot of cash around this zone. From here to this zone, all these places are cash. People have placed their liquidities there. So here you go to templates. Let's use the liquidity. Okay, meaning once we have a liquidity here, once all these places people are having their liquidities around this zone, price has the potential, because we have a fair value gap that has to be filled, and also an order block or supply zone that is also available. Price has the potential to go all the way and fill these zones, like touch it. You get it? So price has the potential to come all the way to this particular high, fill the FVG or touch this other block and bounce at least, or follow the normal trend. So from here it will touch here and also continue with this particular flow. You get it? You just keep that one in mind. You just have to keep that one in mind. So here I want to delete this to make our chart clean, and this one to when price started this particular order block, we have seen that it was making from here, price came to that order block, then instead of continuing, it just came down below this particular, and like it was making some form of structure there, and from that place to price, after hitting this place for confirmation, it came all the way down, like breaking the previous low that is made, meaning we're having a confirmation for what? A downtrend, right? Right now, for a confirmation for a downtrend, once you see the change of character, then the BOS, then we are expecting price, at least once it gets to this point, build a point of an area of interest, then bounce to all the way to this direction. Let me clean this. So once we zoom it, we are going to see something like this. So as I explained, if somebody entered the trade around here, you know, when the trade was placed around here, maybe the stop loss was around this part. The stop loss was around this part. So you can see that the candle, this is how it is. The candle, after getting to this part, it went that high and wick through this zone. Once the wick was done, like once it was able to wick through, what happened? What did we see? Because the candle closed, it didn't close above it. It didn't close above this area of interest. It means it was a liquidity chase. They were just chasing liquidity. You get it? Let me delete this one too. So from the weekly time frame, from the weekly perspective, it means here was a liquidity chase. They were chasing liquidity, where people's money were, you see, where the stop losses are. They just swept it, and that is it. Those people's money were used as liquidity. And because we have this change of character, and right now we have this BOS price, after this BOS we have this pullback. Price respected this part, and from here it has also broken. You see, when price was going, it was making this kind of movement, and it has broken this part, meaning from the weekly perspective, we are expecting price to push more down. You understand? We are expecting price to push more down. So like this, then we have this price came to sweeping liquidity. So we are expecting price to at least come all the way, at least to the low or go below it, something like this. All right. I hope you are following and it's making sense, right? You just follow what the candles are telling you, and this is how we approach the market. So right now the market is telling us it wants to go down. That is from the weekly time frame. You understand? But from you have to make sure always just look at this. From the weekly perspective, it is just a pullback. This movement can be a pullback because we have this structure coming up. We had this structure coming up. The swings, as I've already explained, you get it. So we have this structure coming up like this. So here was our last low and our last high from the weekly perspective. So within the weekly perspective, we are still in an uptrend. And this point, it broke this particular pattern. Because of that, once there is a BOS, there is always a pullback. And that pullback is something that may be happening. It may not necessarily be price going below this. So you just have to respect the price between this high and this low. You get it? Between this high, by this time here is very a weak high because we are in an uptrend. Every uptrend you expect the high to be broken. We are expecting to break the last high. So here can just be a pullback, as I was saying. And once you analyze the market this way and you are expecting price to come down like something like a pullback, which is almost happening from the weekly time frame, what you have to do is you map up your areas of interest between that particular zone. So within this zone, this link, this movement, within that zone, we are going to at least map the areas where we have special order blocks. You understand? Areas which were not filled before. And now, when price is coming, we are expecting those areas to be filled. Okay, so we know that for every candle, the last candle, we have a strong move here, which means here was an order block. I hope you get it. Okay, and this order block, it was followed by a fair value gap. We had that fair value gap here too. FVG. So FVG. Okay. And this one is order block, which is OB. So here is a fair value gap and an OB. You see, when price went up, at least it came down and tried to fill this. But if you look at this particular candle, though it filled the imbalance by the way it's behaving, the way you see it like this, like one other green candle, it means it still has the potential to come all the way and fill this. This is not a proper fill. It was like something like a void that came down. Price from one particular day drop. Instead of price starting from here, when they restarted, it dropped and came all the way here. Because here there were so many orders there. Then from here, price rose to that high. So price has the potential coming back to this place. That is why I've marked that place. And we also know that you have to mark your at least. Here was a demand zone. It took this point to break this. So you can also map here. It is just a demand. Okay. And with this, the same thing happened. By once I go, like I dive in, you are going to get it. All right. So we have mapped these areas at the same way. Around this particular zone, we have this strong movement with this strong candle. So we can also mark this area as well. Something like this. So we have this. So when price is coming in this manner, at least we are expecting to respect any of these. All these places has the potential. Once price gets to that place, you see it. And once price touches it, the need for it is very less, because once price comes to a particular order block or fair value gap, the the what is there, the money, people's cash, people's orders that are available around that zones, they are all being filled, they are all being absorbed in the market, and they are of not that importance. You get it? Yeah. So let's go to the weekly time frame. So first of all, before we go, we know that we are playing between this range and this range, right? From here, the lowest part to this point, that is what we are working between, and we have also marked our zones. Here is FVG, FVG, okay, and then this this one too is an OB order block. So that one too, we just click on it, okay, because we've extended this part here, so that is all. All right, so we move to the daily time frame, just focusing between this and this, or the last high. So with the daily time frame, that one too, you look at what is happening from the daily perspective. You see, just look at this one. From the daily perspective, the candle actually closed above this candle, meaning from the daily perspective, we had a change of character. You get it? From the weekly perspective, let's look at the week again. We saw that the candle did not close. The candle closed here. Let me zoom it more. Price, when price closed here, it started around this session, that it moved that high all the way through this other block. So it went through, just sweeping some people's stop losses, and it came all the way down to this point and close before at least coming down, which means from the weekly perspective, which is actually following our bigger trend, it is telling us price was what, bearish. It was just a wick, just a liquidity sweep. But the daily time frame, once you get to the daily time frame, the same place, this is the same place, what you are seeing in the weekly time frame. So price all the way from here went above to this point and came to this point and closed above it. Once price closed above it, and we're having these structures, you see, this was we have initially having this. So at least we were expecting price around this session, then continue like this, but it didn't happen. Price went all the way to this place, to get it, and close above it. Once it has closed above this high, it is a confirmation that price can also go a more up. That is why from the daily time frame, you see that it has changed character from the previous high. All right, so meaning the areas that we have mapped, price has the potential to come to those points and at least go back to, and at least respect these other blocks, these ones. Once they are hit, maybe possibly we can still come all the way down. You get it? That is from the daily time frame. But from the week, it is telling you, no, this move, this particular move, it can still go on and on until we get to the last range. At least all these within that particular range, within that particular trend, right? That is what the week is also telling us. So what you are supposed to do is to actually always wait for confirmation. We know that here has the potential to push price up, but you have to wait, see how price will react around that zone. So currently what we are doing, because we are having two different things coming from the daily and the weekly, let me delete this, the swing point, or I should leave it, right? Yeah, because we are having, and already we are already in a downtrend. When you go, you zoom in the lowest time frame. So let me delete this. when we zoom in the lowest time frame, let's go to the 4 hours. Oh, my network. Our network is currently killing us. It's not easy. So the whole point or the whole idea here, what I'm trying to explain here is the ranges are helping us. You mark your ranges, maybe from the weekly. You have to work between this range. Yeah, from the daily, then you come down. You can see that from here, at least we had this uptrend that was going lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then all the way we went around this part. So we're not expecting price to break this, but price came all the way, to understand, and broke at least this zone, meaning from the smaller time frame, it is also telling us price wants to go down more. And this down, within the weekly time frame, this down movement is still like a pullback. You understand? The movement that is happening around this zone is still a pullback. Okay. And within the pullback, if that flow was if that flow was in a particular trend, which is or what we've known so far, which was an uptrend, which means here is just temporal. Once price hit this one, or maybe possibly to this one, it has the potential to still push the upside down, unless that low is broken and price closes below it. Then you wait for at least confirmation to go more low, right? All right. Let me leave the video here because I'm having network challenges. I couldn't complete this video. All right.